We're here with Chosen People Ministries, and I've got two incredible gentlemen here. This is Motti and Kirill. And Motti, Dr. Mordecai Inbari, is the professor of religion at the University of North Carolina in Pembroke, specializing in Jewish history, thought, and culture, with a focus on Jewish politics and ethics, gender and sexuality, and Jewish-Christian relations. He earned his PhD, his MA, and his BA from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Dr. Inbari has authored 6 books and is the co-author of Christian Zionism in the 21st Century, American Evangelical Public Opinion on Israel. Is that good?
Yes.
Anything to add to it?
No.
Didn't get anything wrong?
We co-author it together.
Together?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Kirill, Dr. Kirill Bumin is an Associate Dean of Metropolitan College and Director of Summer Term at Boston University. Dr. Bumin received his MA and PhD in Political Science from the University of Kentucky and his undergraduate degrees in Business Administration and Political Science from High Point University in North Carolina. Dr. Bumin was born and raised in Belarus, interesting, and immigrated to the United States with his family in 1994. Dr. Bumin's current research focuses on the study of Christian Zionism, comparative studies of public opinion on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and Jewish-Christian relations. He's also the co-author, Christian Zionism in the 21st Century, American Evangelical Public Opinion on Israel. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
I want to start with you, Kirill. Tell us about this survey. Where did the idea of it come from? Why are you so passionate about this survey?
So the initial idea of the survey congealed 8 years ago. We wanted to understand why American evangelical and born-again Christians support Israel. And to do that, we conducted our first survey in 2018. For Motti, this was a subject that he already studied prior to that. For me, it was a brand new project, which I expected to be a one and done type of thing. And, you know, lo and behold, 8 years later, we're still doing it. In fact, the more we do it, the more new angles we observe and the more interesting elements we observe. And so that prompts a new survey. And the survey that we're talking about today is a culmination of some of the research that began in the US, but has now transitioned into the international sphere and covers both Great Britain and Ireland. And it focuses on 2 basic questions, and that is attitudes toward the Jewish people and Christian-Jewish relations, and attitudes toward the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Wow. And what have been some of the findings, especially between the US and the UK? Are they the same? Are they different?
They are quite different, yes. We found that British Christians tend to have more negative views of Jews and have more negative views toward the state of Israel if we compare them to Americans. Absolutely, in some cases, it's even, you know, the percentage is even double than American Christians overall.
And why do you think that is? Maybe you're like, that's not part of my job, but, you know, do you have any kind of underlying feelings of why that is?
We saw something that is also true for the United States, but very strongly in the United Kingdom, which is it's young people.
Right.
Young people are pushing the numbers up. And the views of Israel and the Jewish people, not even if you isolate the Jewish people from the questions of Israel, the image of Jews among young British people doesn't look good. The views tend to hold negative views toward Israel and toward the Jewish people on things that are not related to Israel at all.
Wow. And Kirill, so I know you guys have just been featured in the Times of Israel. That must have been really cool for that to happen.
Absolutely.
But give us some of the stats of what is the survey telling us?
So the survey is actually quite thick in terms of details, and it tells us quite a lot. But just like Motti mentioned, there are also a lot of parallels that we observe both across countries and over time. So, for example, we see that conservative ideology tends to correlate both in the United States and the United Kingdom with greater support for Israel and with less likelihood of anti-Semitism. We see that both in the United States and in Great Britain, even after controlling for religious factors, political factors, educational levels, income, we still see that young people are more skeptical about Israel and more supportive of the Palestinians than older generations. Of course, we survey Christians in both countries, so it's really important to gauge the influence of theology. And what we see are persistent influences across both countries and over time of certain theological principles. In particular, one of the most important factors in explaining support for Israel is a deeply held belief in Abrahamic covenant. Those people that express such beliefs in the US, in Ireland, in the UK, tend to also express much stronger support for Israel. Do you want to add about other biblical variables that may be interesting here?
You put me on the spot now.
Hey, Mordecai, you're in the Bible.
Yeah, I'm in the Bible, true. There are also some Christian aspects that reduce support for Israel. For example, if Christians believe that the church replaced Israel in the promises of God, so this actually reduced support for Israel in a significant way. Also, there is a certain percentage in both states that still believe, it's low, but they still believe the Jews are responsible for Christ's death. So if you believe that Jews are responsible for Christ's death, then you don't support Israel. You're not supporting it at all.
Guys, this is so helpful. Like what you're doing is like cutting edge stuff. It is like a modern day Bible story, really, because you're able to unearth and see millennia of teaching in the church and, you know, in outside church as well. What does that do to people? And what you said before basically makes me think, you know, whoever's actually reading their Bible and understanding what the Bible narrative is will be on the right side of history.
And that is an exceptionally important point, because another really important factor that we find consistently to matter for both support for Israel and positive attitudes towards the Jewish people is notion of biblical literalism. Reading the Bible literally is associated with stronger support for Israel, stronger support for the Jewish people.
And in the times that we're living in, it's critical. It's absolutely vital that we understand what we believe, why we believe it, and the knock-on that it has in the way that we behave, in the way that we engage with people. Guys, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.